and partly because a project that we've been working on with my newspaper is the Hickson and Welsh chemical site in Castleford, which has a history of really bad industrial illness, explosion, chemical kind of in the ground. Basically, it shut in 2005, and since then nobody's been able to develop on the land or the surrounding mile radius. Now that ban has actually been lifted and development will be starting. From my perspective, there's a huge amount of history in that site, and also there'll be planning applications coming in now that that land has become more valuable. We decided to try and create a kind of model that journalists could use to apply to any site really, so that it could search the history of that site, search the planning applications that have been there in the past, let us know about the planning applications that are going to be coming up in the future, also consent to change of use, that kind of thing, but also use web chat and kind of chemical licensing, that kind of thing, to actually bring it all together and produce data for us that would be easy to scan, quickly to scan, and help us form the basis of a news story. So I'll pass over.
Okay. First of all, we're trying to answer this. Can we actually produce a tool that shows this sort of activity and what's going on around a given site? The main idea that's coming from our journalist clients was, can we do a specialist search tool that will be allowed, or even an alerts tool around that? And then basically the areas we're looking at was planning applications. So can we find out outline, full and change of use applications? We have a proof of concept of that, but we don't have the working scrape at the moment because it was partly reliant on the Leeds one and we were behind them. So, but we thought that's there, and we could actually create alerts based on the words that are appearing in the actual applications, so that when you're seeing things coming through, you'll actually be able, a journalist will be alerted of those, and that's how that would work. We were also then looking for other data that we'd be able to tie into that, and this is where we became quite unstuck because there just doesn't seem to be any in public use. There are contaminated land registers, and whilst these aren't complete, because obviously the government doesn't know about every piece of land and every contamination, but these aren't electronic at the moment, also not available. And we also looked at things like health and mortality data for the industrial illness, and there wasn't really anything there. We also then looked at the chatter around it, and whilst this is traditional journalism, well, modern traditional journalism, so we just put it to one side for this project. So essentially we came up with 3 conclusions. There's a very large lack of public free online data. Planning is scrapable, but it's limited use without the other background data. We probably need to look into mapping a bit more and how you can actually deal with that. And there is a potentially useful resource to be built here around some sort of wiki or blog that journalists could use to create an ongoing story about specific sites. Thank you.